Go.
Well, Drew, wait. Oh.
Uh,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Top Cut. I am Josue Crims Rojano, and with me are Ben Potter, Michael Pramawat, Drew Holden, and Kyle Pukasukovic.
woo!
All right, we had a week break last week. I wasn't here the week before, but they still had a show, and now we're actually 1 week away from Thanksgiving, so we're gonna have a week's break again next week. So right now we're focusing on the cities metagame. We're focusing on everything cities actually because it's about to begin. We're only a few days away from cities actually starting up, and you know a lot of these tournaments like nationals and regionals and even states, they're kind of like little sprints. You prepare for them for X amount of time, and then you have 1 day or 2 days or whatever, and that's it. You're done with this tournament. But cities are a lot like a marathon. Yeah, no pun intended with that one, I guess. But cities are like the long race that you're.
Seemed pretty
I mean, you're in
intense.
it for the long haul. It wasn't, but yeah. Either way, they're like this long race that you're gonna have to prepare for, and you're constantly gonna be not only changing your own deck, but the metagame itself is gonna be evolving. So it's really a unique tournament cycle, and I'm actually really excited to see what comes up from it because of boundaries crossed. So without further ado, we're going to start with Kyle. Kyle, how have you prepared since boundaries crossed came out, and do you feel like you're ready for cities?
I'm lagging a little bit.
Yep.
Yes.
You are.
A little bit, maybe.
All right. Well, I guess I'll fill in for Kyle. So,
All right.
so Kyle has been preparing for cities via his Bad Deck Mondays. He's gotten a lot of like useless testing there. So he's really behind the curve. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show for that part. And he's probably not going to win his first cities weekend. So that's his review.
All right. Well, Pram, what about yours?
um, kind of the same as I haven't really played that. I haven't played like too much. I've tried to do some online games, but just here and there. I think the format is a lot of just Blastoise and Darkrai decks right now. So we'll see on how that works out. And yeah, I mean, like my city testing has been like not good, but not bad. So I'm kind of in that like middle area.
But you've already started to prepare. You're already kind of like I wouldn't say totally prepared for this first week, but you're a lot further ahead than I'm sure a lot of other people. So do you feel confident in your coming into cities, and do you feel like you're going to be one step ahead of the metagame coming into it?
Well, I think there's like one clear defined best deck right now, and as long as you play it and you play a good list where you're fine. It's not like the format is like difficult to play. So, like in terms of like getting game mechanics up, I should be fine. But like just kind of hammering out a list to play is like the big deal.
All right, Ben.
I haven't really prepared at all. I don't have any other cards, but if I think it's just like 4 cards that I need. I think I'll be good to go. Just gonna use best card, Darkrai. It's a pretty good card, and I'm gonna use the card that counters the rest. And then I'm just gonna win a bunch of games, man. That's all I do is win.
All right, so I think you cut off, at least for myself. You said you're going to use a card to prepare against another deck. I personally know what you're talking about. You're talking about, Shaman to prepare against grass decks. But you were just cutting off like crazy, and it was kind of pretty hard to understand you. Now, B Rabbit, anything you want to say? Yes, that's you, Drew.
Peter Rabbit? I don't even get it.
B Rabbit, man, 8 Mile.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
I haven't
I
seen
got
a
it.
mile.
Well, I mean, you're just kind of young.
What rating is that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm not allowed to see things like that.
All right, Drew.
Is someone making a lot of noise over there?
That's Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're having a lot of issues with Kyle's. There we go.
All right, we got rid of him.
Continue.
I would actually feel pretty prepared if I was planning on playing in any. I played a lot of games on the PTCGO. I like that Keldeo deck. Uh, I gave it a little too low rating on the woo scale. I'd probably bump it up a couple more woos now, but I like it. Um, the people on the PTCGO might not be very good either, so I might be inflating my win total, but I like that deck. But I own none of the cards for it, so I wasn't planning on playing it at all. So completely unprepared for cities.
All right. What
Let's
else
just
is new?
say PTCGO doesn't do much for you. Right now, my deck is like 20-5 on PTCGO, and I'm playing 4 full heals just to deal with everything.
4 full heals?
Yeah.
Why?
That's still great white hope for you. All right. So you mentioned that that you're reneging on your woo scale for Keldeo. Is there what specific reason are you given for the now multiple O woo on Keldeo?
I think that deck works perfectly together. The Keldeo, I think Blastoise would have a similar problem that like an inboard deck would have, and that people could catch up to Blastoise and they could kind of try to stall around it a little bit. So you'd have to run like a high switch count and waste spots on those. But Keldeo just solves that whole problem. You don't even care if your Blastoise ever comes up. And if they ever knock out your Blastoise, you have this Keldeo that's swinging for like 130. So the deck just works perfectly together. And Skyla really makes Stage 2 decks more valuable. You can get rare candies and stuff. It just works together perfectly.
All right. Yeah, Skyla's another new addition from Boundaries Cross. Skyla's been in so many decks that I've heard about, and it just feels like the people that aren't using it are underappreciating the card. And I feel like as cities progress, we're going to see a deeper use of Skyla, and states really abuse it currently with the ability to find the right candies. Do you guys feel like Skyla is going to be the breakout supporter of this format?
Definitely.
I was going to ask Kyle, but Kyle's still active.
Kick him
Nope.
out.
He's just. All right. Well, Kyle says nope. Pram, you were saying?
Well, the breakout supporter, in
Yes.
terms of that, yeah. I mean, like, that are huge, right? Huge, right?
Huge.
So, like, huge.
Huge.
Um, it's that or so Skyla is definitely like the one that's gonna take the cake. So it's just really, really good. It can get like catchers, candies. For Blastoise, can get like energy retrieval. So it's just like really huge and
Huge.
yeah.
So we agree. Skyla is huge, while it is not a huge. Kyle, can you elaborate, please?
Talking to
Give me
me?
5 seconds to elaborate. Yes.
He's
it's working.
back.
Talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Alright. I don't think Skyla's as good as I thought. Just because the only time it's really good is when you have another support in your hand. I do like that you can search for anything, but a lot of the times you just have a Skyla, and then it's like, well, I'd like to grab a card, and then I have a supporter for next turn. So you either put yourself into top deck mode, or you grab a supporter and pass. It comes up a lot when I play.
Now,
so I'm not as big of a fan of Skyla as I thought.
Does that mean that maybe you're still building your decks the way you were used to before, with only like a 10 supporter count or 11 supporter count?
Did not hear any of that.
We lost him.
Okay. We'll get back to you, Kyle. Potter, you were saying?
Skyla's okay. I don't know if it's like amazing. I think I'm still playing the 4 Junipers, 4 Ends, 4 random receivers, and then I'll play some Skylas in there too. That way I can get my cards and my supporters. A lot of times with Skyla, I just like say, I'm not getting a supporter. I'm just getting this one trainer card, and we're just gonna see how far this takes us.
Well, yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad strategy if that trainer card happens to be that catcher that you get to cement board position or whatnot. That's kind of what Skyla offers. So,
Yeah, she
yeah,
offers a lot
it
of
is.
things.
Give it to. I'm sure Skyla offers multiple things, but that is one of the things that Skyla does offer is giving you a catcher at any given time. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You still have to use your same support account. Not same, but a very similar one, and kind of just tack Skyla on there. That's kind of what I figured would end up having to happen. Drew, your thoughts?
I love Skyla. I think it's the best supporter in the format by far. Being able to search for whatever you want, pretty much in your deck. I mean, you can get computer search, which gets anything else, so you have access to your whole deck pretty much, and it's absurd. I think it's by far the best card in the deck, even the entire format. Energy
In the
Pokemon,
entire format.
it's awesome.
How many O's in the woo does Skyla get?
Like 15, and 10 of them are for her looks, so it's 5 for playability. But yeah, I noticed like decks are instantly way more consistent.
I do not know.
So, woo! I love it. Crim.
All right. You're the one hosting the call. Are you able to hear the conversations?
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of. Not really.
Okay, good.
It's pretty bad.
When I have this confused look on my face, it's because I can't hear you guys. So just fill in the blanks for me. Either way, there's other cards that obviously came out of Boundaries Cross. It's not just Keldeo and it's not just Skyla. What other cards are you guys figuring are going to take a big part of have a big part of this city's metagame at the beginning of the tournament season? We'll start with Cram.
What cards are going to be good in the start of the metagame?
At the beginning, yes.
In terms of single cards, Skyla's going to be obviously good. Outside of like that, new ones. Oh, that's tough. I guess like the obvious two are like Blastoise and Keldeo are very, very good. And then honestly, it's really just like the only new deck that kind of like came out that's like been good. The other decks are still there. Like I mean, like Landorus is like decent. But unfortunately, its weakness to water is kind of like it really kind of brings it down a lot. So I think Landorus is like sort of good, but not the greatest. And it's probably just going to be like some decks are just not going to be as good anymore. So, but like I think Darkrai Hydreigon's still good, and like computer searches will definitely be huge. So it's like definitely the like only A spec you can play right now. That'll change when you get like the more A specs, but as of right now and with the current meta, computer search is definitely the way to go. Yeah, I mean like it's just in terms of single cards, it's gonna be like Blastoise, Keldeo, computer search. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in? Because he just basically named the cards that we already kind of expect to be really good. Do we feel like there's not going to be any breakout cards in, aside from the ones we mentioned?
On the map, 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 on the town map. That's going to be a breakout card.
Oh, man.
All right. Drew?
I think that's like everyone's 61st card.
I think it's my first card.
You just have to add 60 after that.
He has to add 56, man. 4 of them. Woo! No, I think you got them all. Next.
Sheesh. All right. And by the way, guys, I'm gonna link you guys to the Top Cuts Facebook page. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and start asking them now. We're gonna get to the questions a little bit earlier than usual because we're gonna be focusing on kind of preparing everybody for city championships. So that's them right there. Go ahead and start asking them as you please. Anyways, the next, it's still on topic with city championships, but now I kind of want to talk about preparation for city championships. We talked about whether we're prepared right now or not. But I guess what I'm trying to ask is, like, once the first city championships are over, what really information do we try to gather from there that kind of helps us stay one step ahead of the metagame's evolution? What factors are we looking for after the first weekend is over? And Drew, you can go first.
Really try to look at the results that come back, analyze the trends, what decks are doing well, see if you can counter them. Certain decks, I think like Blastoise, Keldeo is really hard to counter. All the grass Pokemon are kind of bad, but stuff like that. Just really try to analyze the trends. Maybe see what trainer lines people have developed. Try to copy that. If you're not doing well, try to change up your deck a little bit. See what text you can add in. Stuff like that.
All right. And by the way, guys, we did lose Kyle right now. He's restarting his computer. Hopefully that'll fix his internet issue. Pram, your thoughts?
I think like the best way to do it is kind of just see what did well. Like it doesn't have to win. Like maybe like a top 4, a top 2 of what the results is from most of the cities, and kind of see like how they got there. That's another important issue. Like if you see, for instance, like I don't know, an all Dino deck won for some reason, right? But then you look at what it played, and then it's just like, oh, that's why it won, of course, right? So you got to like take everything and kind of see why things happened the way they did, and then once you kind of like digest that down, you just go, okay, these are like the best things that people played, and if you came to that conclusion pretty easily, other people are going to come to that conclusion pretty easily too. So you have to be like, all right, well, if people are going to adjust this way, how do I adjust? Things like that. So it's just going to come down to like a lot of like analyzing, like, and if you want to stick with your same deck, you want to like look at like decks or similar decks to yours that won, and what did they do different than you? And if you agree with what they did, then you change your deck up. If you disagree, then you just go, oh, well, I'll just keep doing my own thing. Things like that.
Well said. Now, Potter, I want to ask you a variation of this question, which is last year at last City Championships, what kind of an example can you give us as to how the format kept evolving and how the metagame itself kept evolving throughout the City Championships?
Well, I was at the Florida Marathon, so when we first got down there, the first 2 days, people played the big basic decks with Virizion and stuff, and then it kind of switched to more Electro decks. Those were popular for a few days, and at the end there was like Durant decks like in the middle there too, and then at the end there were Chandelure decks like also in the mix. So things kept changing, but I didn't listen. I kept playing just kept playing ZPS over and over. I mean, I made 3 top cuts, but I didn't win anything. So that was probably a mistake. The Magnezone deck was very good though, and it probably would have worked in all of them, all of the changing formats. But Durant saw play, and then people played Durant, so then people stopped playing, like play and stuff like that happened. And I can't hear.
Now, basically to clarify, can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Okay. To clarify, really what happened was Durant won the very first 2 tournaments at the Florida Marathon, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So once Durant won the first 2 tournaments, what ended up happening was people started using decks like Typhlosion, Magnezone, and stuff like that to try to counteract these decks. And that kind of evolved. That shifted the format. That's really what we're trying to talk about. Is it doesn't necessarily just happen throughout the marathon season, but it happens in regional areas as well. Yep. Where, throughout one weekend, one deck dominates. The next weekend, obviously, people have this deck in their mind, so they start trying to counter it. And if you stay one step ahead or whatever, you can. But if you stick to the very same deck, you're going to be the subject of having everybody kind of like pass you over while you're kind of just sticking to your same bubble and letting everybody else do the work. So there's definitely a really cool kind of rhythm to the city championships, and that's really what makes it so interesting. And that's really what I love the most out of cities. So with Kyle gone, I really don't want to go into the viewer questions yet, so I guess we're gonna ask one more question, and that has a lot to do with the points that we're gonna be earning at city championships. There's gonna be a 200 total possible points that can be earned, which is 4 cities wins. That's a lot. That's a ton. That's basically half of your.
It's exactly
required
half.
points to get to. Yeah, I'm sorry, exactly. It's not basically. It's exactly half of the required points to get to the World Championships. That is a ton. I can't stress enough how much that is. How do you guys feel about that? And do you guys feel like that's accurate? And I mean, obviously, whether regardless of what we think or not, we're still gonna have to earn these 200 points if we want a shot at making Worlds. So, thoughts on this? And are you guys prepared to really like lay it all on the line? And we'll go with Drew.
I'm fixing the Skype call, and the split.
Yeah,
you gotta call me.
I'm
All
here.
right, sorry, man. Go ahead, keep doing your thing. We'll get back to Kyle.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Top Cut. Now we're going to be doing the viewer questions. We apologize for all the technical difficulties. We really do. Hopefully, we've got them all straightened out. Skype is a very, very fragile program. So let's go with the very first question, which is from Dwayne Schoenberg. He's asking Rayquaza Eels, is it still tier 1? And we're going to have Kyle answer that question.
I don't know if it's actually tier 1 anymore. It's definitely a viable deck. Just seems like no matter what gets thrown on it, Electric just has such a good ability that it's going to stick around. What are you doing, Ben?
What are those?
Ignore Potter.
Oh my god. Alright.
Just bitter because.
So yeah, you'll still see Electric be played. I mean, Rayquaza EX is a good attacker. Electric is the best energy acceleration. It's just not gonna go away. It never will, I don't think. So yeah, it's still a good deck. Probably not as strong as it was because I don't know. I think Blastoise does alright against it. Obviously, people are gonna be playing Landorus EX2, which does very well against it. So we'll see how much it gets played, but I don't think it'll be the most successful deck anymore.
I'm glad you mentioned Landorus EX. Landorus EX seems to me like it's going to be the biggest like kind of hurdle that Eels is going to have to cross in order to be able to stay at that high level that it's been at this entire season and the season before it. So it's going to be really interesting. And that's one of the little stories that I'm looking forward to see if it gets answered this coming weekend. The next question is from. Let me make sure that I don't.
The only one who answers that one, all right?
Yeah. That one seems a very simple one.
It was deep, man. Deep.
Colin Coyle Brinkmeyer asks, "What is the safest play for the first cities?" My first cities is on Saturday, so safe. The safest answer for it. This time we're gonna go with Mike.
Safest play?
You ask him.
Yeah.
Probably.
Whatever I don't play. Don't play me.
Yes. I think Darkrai, or I already said Darkrai. Darkrai Dusknoir sounds pretty good. No, but seriously, like it's
Seriously,
kind of like
God, seriously.
the big decks like Blastoise is gonna
Seriously,
be a safe play.
Quadriquaza. Seriously.
Quad Rayquaza is gonna be a safe play.
Seriously.
Terrakion gonna be a safe play. Darkrai Hydreigon's gonna be good. Those decks.
All right. So anybody actually willing to answer the question?
I did.
Drew, Kyle, or Potter, do you feel like there is going to be a safe play for week 1 of cities?
I think Mike, he summed it up beautifully, so I have nothing further to add.
See?
Kyle, Potter?
Darkrai plus Sableye is the safest thing you can use.
Thank you.
Darkrai plus Sableye plus Shaman.
Is the techiest thing you can
Plus Dusknoir.
What? Plus Mewtwo.
Yeah, you can't forget Mewtwo. That was just kind of implied.
Sigilyph.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Salon.
Next question is
There you
from,
go.
next question
And
from
boys,
Austin
that-
Vance. Austin asks, how do you feel about Empoleon variants? And I guess he wants you to explain your feelings. So anybody has anybody been playing Empoleon variants lately, aside from Bad Deck Monday?
I played against one round 1 of regionals.
All right, how do you feel about it?
Well, he wasn't near the top tables the rest of the day, so I don't feel too good about it.
All right. Has anybody actually been playtesting the Empoleon variants at all?
Nope, not me.
Yeah, I mean, Empoleon Terrakian's probably outdated at this point. I would imagine it gets smashed by Blastoise. Just Keldeo would destroy it. And also the Empoleon Excelgor gimmick is up because Keldeo can just rush in. So I don't see Empoleon being that great.
Okay, that makes sense. Fair points. Breezing right through these. Remember, guys, if you guys have any of these questions that you guys want us to cover, go ahead and ask them to us on our Facebook page. And you guys are getting the link in a little bit, aka right now. And
Woo!
Dwayne Shrubbery asked another question. This one's directed towards Kyle. Kyle, do you plan on attending the Chicago Marathon? Which days if so?
Probably end up going to all of them. I believe Pram and Ben are also going. So we'll have plenty of members of the Top Cut at the Chicago Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess this is as good a time as any to ask you guys if you guys are planning on attending any marathons as well, aside from the Chicago Marathon. So do you guys have any other plans for marathons?
Newsflash, Krim. Marathons are only on one weekend now. Or 1 week.
Whoa.
Oh, no!
Yep.
So they're all after...
Flash.
they're all after Christmas? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
After
Yes.
Christmas, before New Year's?
They're all in the same week, so you can't go to multiple ones.
Wow. I think that's kind of cool. Going to be very different from last season. Less tournaments people can attend. So after
However,
that,
I'm going to a mini marathon next week in Indiana. It's 3 days.
Okay. Good to hear. Let's see. Dax Edmiston asks, do you guys all think that Dusknoir, Registeel, Blastoise, Kyurem could be any good at cities? Tested it and thought it was pretty good. I'm just afraid of getting donked from Landorus decks if I run Ray Eels.
Wait, so he wants to know about those 4 different decks?
No, I believe it's a...
Well, they're all in one deck.
I believe it's one deck. Dusknoir, Registeel, Blastoise.
Sounds
Cool.
pretty good. You know, once you get everything out, you're kind of unbeatable. Yeah. Once you get everything out,
Why?
you're unbeatable.
Why Registeel over Kyurem?
No, it has Kyurem as well.
I know, but why have the Registeel if you have Kyurem?
I'm assuming for
That's
combo.
more
potentially.
HP, man.
You can use double colorless.
Sometimes
So
you
like
need to do
technically
damage.
potentially you can start spreading 1 turn faster.
All right, I'll answer this.
And you can take a hit, so you can max potion if you play it.
It feels like the deck might be a little slow. It feels like the deck might be a little inconsistent compared to the big beaters of this
We
format.
don't have to get all negative Nancy on this deck.
Pram hears it, he's like, wait, that sounds kind of good.
Okay.
Once you get everything out.
All right. Pram is so confident in the deck that he's actually vowing to play it throughout the city, or at least in one city.
Tell you
championship.
what. If I go 4 wins
No.
and
No.
I'm
Whoa.
not doing anything coverage, sure.
How about just playing it for one city? That's it. Only one. Doesn't matter when. Doesn't matter. I mean, you need to play it for one city. Deal? Come on. Come on.
What do I get if I do?
If you win, I don't know, man. We'll figure it out. Whatever.
Oh, win?
Something.
That's asking a lot. Come on.
Wait, if I win a city with the deck, what do I get?
This goes out to all you top cut guys, man. If any of you guys play it and win, we'll figure something out.
Well, you know you're inviting, right?
Oh, hold on. Before you guys take any sort of bet from Krim, let me clarify here. His guy does not follow through.
Yeah.
Look, man.
He's not pay off his side of the bet. that's for
Don't
sure.
even start. Don't even start,
Don't
Kyle.
walk into it. He's basically just trying to do a one-sided bet here, trying to make you look like a fool.
Oh my goodness. All right. Either way, I guess we'll talk about this a little more in private, and we can come up with some sort
I see what you're doing.
we can come up with some sort of an agreement. We will.
Tell you what. You kind of announce what you're giving.
I can't think of anything. I mean,
Yeah, this is how it starts. And then he just said, "Well, you never agreed to anything, so I'm not holding up my end of the deal." This happened.
It's not my fault that you didn't come up with something. It's like just so you know, the deal was all right. I think you needed to win nationals, right? That was the deal.
Yes, and I did.
Yeah.
He did.
This dude doesn't come up with he doesn't say anything until after nationals, and he's like, "Oh, so now I get to do whatever?" No, dude. Like, this is before you win. Obviously, once you win, I'm not gonna
something reasonable.
The guy wins nationals.
If you won, I had something I had to do.
Yeah, and I told you what you had to do immediately, like before it actually started. You're sitting there waiting until after you win to go like, "Oh, guess what?" No.
That's the only reason he won. That's the only reason.
There's nothing I could think of that would actually embarrass you.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the point, man. Like, you got to think on your feet. There's got to be some things that'll embarrass me. Just got to figure them out before you win the bet. Like, once you win the bet, of course I'm not gonna win.
I've seen you wearing a taco suit. There's nothing that embarrasses you.
The guy has toilet paper in his room.
All right, next question. Oh boy, where's the next question? Oh God, I can't find it.
I got it.
I found it. All right, Dwayne Schoenberg asked for a third time. What do you think of the team tourney during the Chicago Marathon? That's a pretty cool question. What do you guys think about it?
All right, so let me explain what it is. They're 3-on-3 teams. So you have 3 members on each team, and basically you play 1v1 matches against other people, and whoever wins the most matches on your team. So you have to win 2 or 3 games out of your group wins the round. So that's how the tournament works.
Okay, so what do you think about it?
Someone else can answer.
Okay, what does anybody think about it?
It takes place on January 1st. So that means New Year's Eve is the night before, which means probably not attending, or I won't remember attending.
All right, at least Potter's honest. Anybody else?
It sounds fun. I mean, we kind of did something like this at Worlds 2010, where people would kind of challenge us, and we could do it like that, where we would play all at once. It was fun. I mean, what did I say?
San Diego.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Anyways, it was fun. I think the format's fun. It's kind of like fun going like, "Oh man, I won! You better win! I swear, if you lose." And,
very bittersweet.
Yeah,
you could win,
like,
but then your 2 teammates could lose, and then you just lose.
You hit the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in that tournament format.
Is this similar to Magic, where you're allowed to like talk with your teammates during the game and like make sure that you make the most like the best play possible?
I don't think you're allowed to.
I don't think so.
Okay. Then yeah, in that case, it's pretty heart wrenching. Like when you see your opponent just make a pretty big mistake and there's nothing you can do about it.
So if you play in that, you better pick good partners. If you're really cutthroat about it, you may need to abandon some of your friends.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting next to your teammate who has a Magnemite on his bench versus a Yan Mega Prime,
I got it. I know you were gonna say that.
and he attaches a rainbow energy to his Magnemite, putting it down to 40 hit points so that Yan Mega Prime can knock it out with linear attack, you can't say anything.
Oh yeah.
You made a mistake. You just got to live with it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's.
Yeah, you can't say anything ever.
I'm sure there's definitely the time when
you can just stare at him and be like,
mistake. No, you didn't even stare at me. I caught my own mistake. Nobody freaking caught it but me, and nobody wanted to mention it.
Nobody
Except
caught
for
it
your
but me.
opponent. Your opponent caught
I
it.
saw that mistake and I did it myself.
What?
I saw it and I did it anyway.
I saw it after I did it, obviously.
I looked at
I
my
got the rainbow and I'm like, oh boy.
Don't do it.
Maybe he won't match my hand size. He draws a card and
Just
attacks.
like-
Oh, okay, I guess I'll go.
Look at your opponent and shove that energy on there and go, what? They get so scared they don't attack you.
That was awkward. That was an awkward time in my life, all right?
It's like one of those things where you're like, wow, this guy's really smart. He's baiting him into attacking his Magnemite. And it's like, no, he just actually screwed up.
Look, man, one mistake, dude. You're relentless with my mistakes.
Yeah.
You refuse to forget them. Okay, let's see. Marcus Peck asks how you use Ditto on PTCGO.
Ditto was horrible on PTCGO.
Doesn't work.
That's how you use Ditto. Why not?
Drew has experience with it.
So Ditto is supposed to be you play a card from your hand on a Ditto, right? But on PTCGO, it's you can play any card, any Pokemon in play that's been in play for over a turn on it. So you can put like evolutions on it, you can put like basics on it, anything that's been in play for one turn.
So you can be like, Ditto, Rare Candy, Blastoise, yeah!
Yeah, and it like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to, but it carries over like the energy and damage that were on that Pokemon to begin with, so.
What's the use?
Instead of playing it from your hand, you just kind of swap it.
Yeah,
from
you
your
just
bench.
like combine one of your Pokemon on your bench.
That's awesome, man.
It's horrible. No. What's the point of Ditto then?
Confusion.
All right, the next question is going to be from Christian Deloyaco. And the question is, what are your opinions on Hammer Time?
It's a good song.
Hammer Time the deck.
There's too many energy accelerating decks right now for it to work.
Okay, fair. Now you're speaking about not only the Ray Eels or whatever, but now you're adding the Blastoise Keldeo to the mix. And that has to be a pretty bad matchup for the Hammer Time deck now.
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
Blastoise gets set up, you gotta lose.
And Gabriel Wittenberg asked when the next rotation should happen.
after Worlds.
Next season.
Next September?
Right now.
Or isn't it like July? July-ish? After Nationals, right?
It's
Technically.
after Worlds.
No,
Yeah,
or
technically it's after Nationals. Yeah, no, when
The new
next
season,
begins
yeah.
after Nationals. But the format doesn't rotate till after Worlds.
All right.
there we go.
Glad we got that one sorted out. Nicholas Campbell asks, "Hey guys, don't know if this was asked before, but what do you guys think of Keldeo EX and Darkrai based decks as switch to get around status conditions or catcher stall?" And yeah, okay, so basically a non-hydrated based decks.
Yeah, the idea is like the decks with Victini and Dynamo that would just paralyze you constantly. You'd be stuck, but now you can just play Keldeo to rush in, and then you play a Dark, give it free retreat, and it's kind of like you have a switch at all times to get yourself out of paralysis.
That's kind of
Clever.
Yeah, it's kind of nifty. What do you guys think about it though?
It's good. I like it.
I think it's okay.
Depends on if you're playing Skyla or not.
You gotta have a
If you're
bench
playing-
spot. You gotta attach an energy to it. You have to hope they're not playing Shaman.
Yeah, if you're playing Skyla, I would just play Switch, but
Yeah.
otherwise I wouldn't. I would play the Keldeo, yeah.
All right, that's fair. We're running
But
short.
on that same concept, that helps bring Kling Klang back, because you can rush in with Keldeo when
Yep.
your Kling Klang gets catchered.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
before you don't have Rainbow anymore, so
Your
you need a
clang
way
clang.
to free retreat your Kling Klang.
Clang clang.
All right, Andrew Wambold asks, "Can Garbodor decks have any impact on the city's format, or are they pretty much unplayable now that Sableye catcher strategy has become widespread?"
Mm,
I'm playing Kling Klang.
It seems like if Blastoise becomes a real contender, like everybody assumes it's going to, then it should be at least relatively well positioned in this metagame, being able to stop Blastoise from even doing anything to begin with.
it depends. Like, if Blastoise sets up too fast for Kling Klang, then game's over. Because like
For Kling Kling?
you can
Garbodor.
Talking Garbodor, but
whatever.
yeah.
Okay, for Garbodor, It just, I mean, like the card's so counterable by Tool Scrapper.
And that's
The
all it
problems,
comes
that
down
were
to.
there, the problems that were there before are still there. So
It's like
Garbodor is
worst
like
case scenario.
Garbodor is like a deck that, like, if it doesn't do well at the beginning of a city marathon, and then people just start using Blastoise and cut all their Tool Scrappers, and one day some guy just comes in with a Garbodor deck and wins because nobody's playing Tool Scrapper. That's when Garbodor is useful, when nobody pays attention to it. But once it's there, people are just going to counter it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like all you have to do is play 1 or 2 Tool Scraps, and then you're just like set.
With some Skylas, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that something can be said for the fact that Garbodor does shut off Blastoise completely, and that's something that might factor into people's minds when building decks and trying to counter the metagames once the format does start to evolve a little more. Kevin Baxter asks, what do you think will be the first rogue anti-meta deck that will win a cities, and when do you think it will happen?
No idea. That's why it's Rogue.
I'll say that
Darkrai Seaman Rogue.
we were just talking about Garbodor. I would think that if there's going to be a rogue deck, it would probably include something similar to that. I think that's going to be one of those key component cards. But it would be later on in cities.
We're also running into a format where it's like completely new. So like any deck that wins right off the bat isn't really Rogue. It's just like a good deck. Like once the format is like established, that's when like the term Rogue comes in. So
First Chicago Marathon tournament, a Rogue deck will win. And it's gonna be
by Ben Potter.
and I'm using it.
Oh yeah. All right. Anybody else thoughts?
If we're gonna see like a rogue deck win, it'll probably be like a Dusknoir thing. That someone finds a way to get it to work.
Okay. This is a good question by Garrett Williamson. Lately, I've been feeling very unmotivated to continue playing this game. I've been told that it's just a phase by other players, and that a lot of players go through it. Have any of you ever felt just unmotivated to play? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Yeah.
well,
I don't believe it.
I don't think Kyle's ever had that before.
I beg to differ.
That's
But I think like the way you can keep it interesting is like if you don't want to play, simply just like take a break from it and then come back and like you'll find it fun again. That's literally all it is. Like if you're kind of pushing yourself to play constantly, and then like if you kind of set yourself to a schedule, you could get burned out. That can happen, and just kind of like take a step back and then come back, and like you'll probably get that urge to play again, because a lot of people are competitive and they like to compete, and this is like an outlet for competition. So this is, yeah, I mean, like it's plus team is just fun. You just, like once you like don't play for a while and you come back and then you're just like, oh, this is what the game's like right now. Yeah, it's not bad. So yeah,
That's fair. Potter, you're relatively new. Have you had the urge to stop playing anytime soon, or yet?
I've been getting more of an urge lately to not play, but I don't know what I would do with myself if I didn't. So might as well just keep playing.
Drew, you've been around forever,
Yeah.
like myself. I'm sure that you've been through it at least a few times. Can you describe?
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't play for like several seasons, so I definitely had that going on. Sometimes I just didn't like the format and was like, well, I got better stuff to do, so I'm not playing this season. But usually I just take a couple weeks off. I don't play for a while. I don't really go to any leagues or anything, so I like rarely play as it is. So whenever I get the opportunity to play for like a tournament, I can get pretty into it right away. And I like learning the format, so that's what I do. Also, try to play like a fun deck maybe. If you're playing like a competitive deck all the time, you might get frustrated. So just try to kick back and play something fun for a little bit, and you might enjoy that as well.
Excadrill, maybe?
Yeah, that's my boy.
Subat? Or swoop.
Swoobet.
Dude, swoop out. Not good. That might be the worst deck I've ever made.
All right, Kyle. What about yourself?
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where I've thought about quitting. I actually stopped playing after Nintendo took over. There was that gap. It was like 2003, I think. I went to the first Nintendo tournament, which was the Ruby Sapphire Challenge, which was combining video game and TCG, which did not work at all. So after that, I just kind of was like, I don't think this is for me anymore, and I stopped. And that was after, like 4 or 5 years of playing. It wasn't actually until my friend Abe called me just one day randomly and asked me to go to a state championship that I actually started playing again. So I guess friends are what bring me back into it. It's not the game as much anymore. It's just the community, the people I talk to, that kind of stuff. And then even, I want to say like 2005 or 2006, I was getting really frustrated because I wasn't winning very often. I wasn't winning an invite to Worlds. It was when gym challenges were around, so you just had to. It was your one shot, just was to win a gym challenge to get an invite, pretty much. It was that or don't go. So, losing a lot through it, and I was kind of questioning, like, why am I even playing? This is stupid. It's not fun to me anymore because I'm getting too frustrated when I lose, and I'm not thinking straight because I get just too clouded by not winning. So at that point, it was just kind of like, why keep it up anymore? It's not fun. If winning is the only thing important to me and I'm not winning, man, it's time to move on. But then I just kind of took a step back, took a break. I don't think I was actually planning on playing that much after that. I took a Meganium EX deck to a gym challenge. It was my last chance to win an invite. And I was just like, whatever, I'll just go to have fun. I ended up winning. So I won my invite to Worlds. And that was kind of where I kept playing. But yeah, throughout the years, it's just been... It's tough to justify keep playing when you don't always win. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just all about your friends. That's what brings you back. You can't always win all the time. It's not always going to be fun. But if you have good friends, that's what keeps you back.
Okay. That's very fair. I'm currently going through a phase right now where I'm not playing. I decided to take this entire season off. And that's kind of for the same reasons that everybody else has mentioned. You do get burnt out from time to time. We're all human, and this does tend to happen. And it's happened multiple times. And really, the solution that I found is just not to play. Like, if I feel like playing, why would I force myself to do it? I'm just gonna take the season off, enjoy my time off, and I'm sure that whenever I do come back, I'll come back like with that fire again. But if I didn't have the fire all last season, why would I keep playing? And why would I just force myself to play if I didn't find it enjoyable? So, trust me, you're not alone, Garrett. And hopefully you do come back to this game if you do decide to take a break. So, thanks a lot for the question. Next question is going to be from Jahan Salane, and his question is, what would you like to see brought back into the format? Level X, Prime, or SP?
Maybe Primes?
They just left.
Those are just stage 2 Pokemon.
Yeah, the primes weren't even anything.
They weren't a thing. They were just
Well, I
them.
feel like
different.
SPs are too much a gimmick.
SP
I
was
want
too
SP.
overpowered. SP was
SPs
too
are fun,
overpowered.
man.
SPs were just like too good.
Aren't
And then
SPs
level-
coming back?
Just make them less good.
Level X's
you know?
weren't that bad.
Okay. They're fun.
Isn't there a team Pokemon
I like
coming
level
back?
X's.
Yeah,
Oh.
level X.
Bring back SPs, don't you?
SP is not coming back.
It's
There's
like Team Plasma,
but
though.
It's not the same.
It's not the same?
They're not basics.
Okay. Well, that's garbage.
Yeah, I like the level X Pokemon. I really like the way they worked. I thought the gimmick for them was really cool. How you had to add a level X as well to your deck, and really had just 4 cards to work with there. That was awesome. Which gimmick was your guys' favorites, by the way? Out of all the gimmicks we've seen, like out of like Delta and et cetera, which gimmick was your guys' like, oh man, this is cool, I wish it came back?
Well, I grew up on the level X's or the SPs kinda, so I mean that was kind of the first thing I played. So that was I mean I thought it was pretty cool. Like that's what was around when I started playing. So obviously, the thing I thought was cool. So I'm gonna go with that because I haven't really played other stuff.
All right. You started lagging out quite a bit towards the end, but I think I get what you were trying to say. SP, cool. Drew?
I like level X. I thought that was kind of balanced. They were overpowered cards kind of, but you had to like wait a turn and you had to go through a whole process to get them out. It's not like EXs where they're just out there. They're huge. They're obviously better than everything else. And SPs, the basics, that was kind of overpowered too. So I like level X's. Woo!
Kyle?
Tell you which one I like the least.
No, that's not the question.
Yeah, I'll get to it. But I think the legends were the worst.
Legends.
They ever had. Oh, just
Legends were awesome.
No. I mean,
Well, I mean, like the concept is good, but like the attacks that they like put on them were quite bad.
Yeah, they were not good.
Like if they made the cards better.
when you put the cards in sleeves, they don't even like match up well to look cool. You just have to put down an awkward.
No, but the concept of the legends weren't that bad. It was just the fact that all the legends were unplayable was what made them bad.
They weren't unplayable, man. They were Finals of Worlds 2011. They both had legends.
Gotcha.
That wasn't too good.
Sui Kunente.
Format was kind of to begin with.
All right,
We
so
were limited options. They were forced to play legends.
what was your favorite?
Krim put all of his effort into making an Entei Raikou deck. I mean,
It's true. I even purchased Entei Raikou cards, and like that was my entire collection, just like sets of Entei Raikou.
Hold on.
Legends.
I think the stream died, so not sure what happened.
Awesome.
I'll probably restart unless XSplit froze.
Seems like it's working. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's back. Back.
Okay. Let's seamlessly transition back into what we were talking about.
My favorite gimmick. I like the dark Pokemon, ones that say dark in the name.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Oh yeah.
What about light?
Light. I like the lights.
That actually that replaces my worst. Actually, light was the worst gimmick.
No way. Dark Light Dragonite, man. Oh yeah.
That was literally the only playable light card in existence. All the other ones were so bad.
I got that light Machamp card. That one's not bad.
Light Dragonite with Espeon.
Dragonite was the only one.
Light
Still
Dragonite,
Miracle
because you
Energy?
could use the Miracle Energy.
Is it back out?
It's back.
No.
Okay, it's on. Okay, never mind. It just went out for me. Okay, so your favorite is Dark Pokemon. That's a fair one. I think those Pokemon are really fun. Really, it was a really
that first Dark Flareon that had 50 hit points, and then it had Attack Rage that did more damage for each damage counter on it. Like,
you're going
really?
back to like Team Rocket Flareon.
Yeah,
really,
man.
your 50 hit point Pokemon is gonna have enough damage to make use of Rage. Like, those are the kind of things. That just
He's an angry Flareon, man. What do you want?
Flariados. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Okay. Pram, what are your thoughts?
I said level X's.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. I guess I'll go last, and yeah, I was gonna say level X's, but the truth is I like the dark Pokemon a lot more. Like I had just forgotten about the dark Tyranitar days, and like the Rock Lock days were the best, man. Like having Rock Lock against freaking what was the other deck? Dark Dragonite, or no? Was it?
Yeah,
it was Dragonite.
Yeah, Dragtrode. That's what it was. Like those were the days. Ludi.
Oh, you know what was good actually? I like the Delta series.
Hariyama was around, right? No.
Yeah.
Hariyama EX, yeah.
Yeah, good time.
I like Pokemon that blow themselves up.
Hariyama EX
Electro
from
EX.
one tournament.
Fortress.
Man.
Hariyama EX is a regional champion.
Yeah, it was gonna be a 2-time regional champion, I think. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Yeah. Either way, that format was awesome. Like, not only do I like the dark Pokemon, like the theory behind them or whatever, but I thought the format itself was the best probably. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Next question is from. Okay. Austin Vance asks, Darkrai Landers or Darkrai Terrakion Hammers? Thoughts?
Darkrai Terrakion Hammers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't like Landers that much. Initially, I don't think there's any energy acceleration it can really take advantage of. So the 30 and 30 hit is not too good unless you start with it. Like, if you get it out later than like the first turn, you're just doing 30 into an EX Pokemon probably, which is not going to get you anywhere anytime soon. So, not a big fan of it.
Fair enough. Josh Graham asks, now that Puka showed us the light on playing Clink Clink, do you guys think it'll make a return to the game?
Yes, it will. I guarantee it.
Sure.
I'll tell you what, that deck is actually a lot of fun to play. I've played it a couple times. And
I'm excited.
It's fun to just move all the stuff around. The metal blend energy is also water type, so that works with Keldeo to power up that attack. Secret Sword, so it's got a lot of good synergy, but the deck's pretty slow. That's the main thing that's bad.
Yeah. You're pretty slow, Kyle. Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
The very last question is also going to be about Bad Deck Monday. Apparently, it's a pretty popular topic tonight. Andrew Wambolt asks, Kyle, can you feature Cinccino City on Bad Deck Monday? Deck includes Cinccino from Next Destinies, Virizion, Muna, Audino, and Shaman EX, as well as this one. So, can you feature it? That's the question.
We'll see.
It has Virizion. I'm sold.
Truly a bad deck.
The smooth code thing's all right.
All right. So we apologize for all the technical issues we had on the show this week. Hopefully, we'll get them fixed by 2 weeks from now when we come back. Obviously, next week we're gonna have the Thanksgiving break.
We're not
And
doing
then
a
the week-
Thanksgiving show, man. What? There's
Look,
gonna be
dude,
football, us.
I'll tell you what, Drew. We'll do the Thanksgiving show. All right. You
Woo!
show up at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Whoa.
We'll do
I
it.
sign up for
10
this.
p.m. Eastern, and we will do it. I give thanks for you showing up and doing the show for us.
Just calling my
I'll
bluff.
be on my laptop, and it's gonna sound bad. So
All right. Either way, we will be taking a 1 week break. We will be back on. Oh geez. 2 weeks from now. That's when we'll be back. I can't do the math. So hopefully.
+1.
will you need to beat
So
the math?
hopefully the format will be a little bit further on. We'll be able to talk about how the format started to develop and kind of clue people in what they can expect to see happen during the following weeks. Like we mentioned, this is one of the funnest times of the year for the Pokemon TCG. Just seeing the evolution of the entire thing happen before your very eyes is really awesome. So from us here at the Top Cut, we're gonna have to start saying our goodbyes. I'll start. Follow me on @Crims23 on Twitter. I have not been tweeting very much lately, but I'll tell you what, if you guys start following me, I promise I'll start tweeting a little bit more. That's my plea to you. Either way, I will not be attending City Championships that I can think of. I believe my first tournament back is going to be regionals, the next regionals in SoCal. So expect to see me there. Take it away, guys. Pram, big guy.
So follow me on Twitter, guys, at Michael Promwallet. It's really important that you guys kind of make Twitter accounts. It's like a really good way to interact with us, see how tournament results, and it's a good way to interact with other people. So please do that, and subscribe to our Twitch page. That's another thing you can kind of help us out by doing. If we, once we start getting, once you guys, if you're gonna watch anyways, why not get a little notice about it? So, yeah. Also, if you're going to any of the cities in Fairfax or like the Virginia, Maryland area, come say hi. It's always nice to meet you guys. And if you're going to the Chicago Marathon, Ben, Kyle, and I will be there. So, come say hi to us. And yeah, that'll be great. Anyone else?
Drew?
Yeah, follow me on the tweet zone as well. I'm the best tweeter around. Also, like Pram said, follow our Twitch page. That'll help us out a lot, so you should really do that. Good luck to everyone going to cities this weekend. I'm not sure where the ones around me are. I'll have to look, but I highly doubt I will be going to any. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey day if you do that kind of thing. So, to everyone in America. Woo! And,
Potter.
Yep. I want to wish everybody a good Thanksgiving. I might not be there just because my laptop might be so terrible that
We're
shouldn't
not
even be
actually
there.
doing a show.
We're not
then.
doing
yeah,
Oh,
we got him.
okay. Well, have a good Thanksgiving. If you're on break from school, I feel you. It's gonna be great. And thanks for watching.
And Kyle.
Great. Thanks for watching, everyone. We did have some technical difficulties this show. Apologize for that, but that's the nature of whatnot. If anyone's going to be in Indianapolis for Thanksgiving weekend, I'll be there for the 3-day mini marathon. It's 3 cities in 3 days. So I'll be traveling up there with Jason Krasinski and Matt Alvis. So we'll be there. If you see me there, come say hi. Otherwise, like these guys have been saying, follow us on Twitter at Top Cut Pokemon and our individual Twitter accounts. I'm sure they're all out there somewhere. Yeah, follow our Twitch page. That helps. Subscribe to YouTube. Anything that can help us spread the word, we would appreciate, because we are nothing without you guys and without the Pokemon community in general. So have a happy Thanksgiving next week. We won't be having a show, but 2 weeks from now, we'll be reporting in with some cities results, and we'll have another show for you guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Woo!
Later, guys.
Peace out.
We can't both do the peace, dude.